Can I just say, like, Tom is keeping cool right now, but he just wants to barf all over the table right now. We're talking about seltzers.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my mouth shut here. It's like, oh man, table full of girls.
Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 188 of the Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We are your hosts, Stephen, Kenny, and Anthony.
What up, my man?
What's up, Kenny?
Half saturated over here. Chilling.
Half saturated already?
We're going to work on this tonight.
On a Tuesday?
We're working.
Okay. All right, so it's another Tuesday episode, and we are very delighted to not be doing a short bottle review, but instead to be joined by some industry people. So Cameron Leach is back with us. Cam, welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. And then we have our two guests of honor who are coming to us from one of the most exciting up-and-coming whiskey brands out there. This is River Roots Barrel Company coming to us from Cleveland, Ohio, and we're lucky tonight to have two of the co-founders, co-owners, Mr. Ryan Lintz and Tom Gray. Welcome.
Cheers. Thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Yeah, and I'm jealous you guys are up there in the Cleveland area. That's where I'm from originally, and so you're expecting snow here in the next week, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're already getting.
And then 75 degrees the next day.
75 degrees the next day. Yeah. Gentlemen, thanks for being here tonight. I knew very little about River Roots. Kenny actually just added me to the Facebook group a couple days ago. Thanks, Kenny. And I'm seeing all kinds of great bottles around the table. But I just want to get started. Tell us about your company. Tell us how it started, how you guys got into it, that kind of thing, and we'll just kind of go from there.
Yeah, sure. Well, Ryan and I have known each other for a little while. I've known his family for, years. So, and, it was probably about 3.5 years ago or so. Actually, I was brewing for a brewery. I came from a beer brewing background, and I was going to age a stout in a bourbon barrel and reached out to Ryan and said, hey, do you have access to a barrel? And long story short, got a barrel from him. Because
Blanton's.
It was.
Blanton's barrel.
Blanton's,
Ooh,
yeah.
there
Full
you go.
tater.
Was it a left face?
Yeah. And aged
What
a beer
letter?
in that. And then he said, hey, what's going to go on with this thing after the beer's done? And I said, it's all yours. Brought it to his house and hung out in his back deck, hatched a plan to get a River Roots going. So it was a great day, and that Blanton's barrel is actually sitting in our gift shop area right now, and it's been converted into a bit of a liquor cabinet, which is kind of cool. So it's where it all began.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
so that was August of 2021.
And to kind of nerd out about the bottle that we drank, that we opened that night when Tom and I were talking, was actually a Sea Barrel of Willet.
Oh.
And
Wow.
Ho.
yeah,
Wait a minute.
It was
just casually mentioned the Sea Barrel.
But no, we still have at River Roots now in our gift shop. We have that bottle that we drank. So that was kind of like the flux capacitor, right?
It was,
like that
yeah.
was like, hey, we should do this. That would be cool. And a few years later, here we are.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It was really funny because we were just drinking regular bourbon, good stuff, of course. And then when we started talking about, hey man, we got to do this. We're gonna make this thing happen. Ryan leaves and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go get the good stuff real quick. Came out of the house and had a fine point Sharpie marker and handed it to me. And he's like, anybody that drinks out of this bottle has to sign their name on it. And there was a good handful of names on there. So
Nice.
Well, you guys know. I mean, just like we're here right now, right? Like
Right.
we're just drinking. Kenny's bringing out all sorts of stuff. You know, this hobby is all about sharing and enjoying and laughing and stuff like that. So,
Right.
and that's really like what River Roots is about. Truly, where we're from is a lot of the people that are listening to this podcast and the people around this table, just whiskey nerds, bourbon nerds that just enjoy good whiskey. And I've done a lot of barrel picks over the years, the last 12 years or so. And, you know, especially in the Cleveland area, there's really no prominent, whiskey bourbon company. And I was like, man, well, wouldn't it be fun if we could, kind of do that around there and kind of open it up? So, yeah, I mean, so really what River Roots is just a company that's of whiskey nerds that are just trying to find really interestingly good barrels of bourbon and bottling it. We're not like a huge company that's going to buy huge stocks of stuff. We're more boutique, but that makes us flexible, right? Like we're always going to be changing. We're always going to, whatever the market has available from a barrel perspective, we're going to be jumping on that. And sometimes it will be really old age stuff, or sometimes it might be like 6 or 7 or 8 years old stuff, but it's really interesting. It's like a company for people that are bourbon enthusiasts, right? Like always just trying to find those cool things. So.
That's what I've noticed. It seems like a lot of the stuff I've seen from you guys have a lot older age statements than a lot of other whiskey companies that I've seen that are quote unquote boutique or smaller distilleries per se. I've noticed a lot older age statements, so that it's pretty cool so far what I've tasted.
Mm-hmm. So this really started as a conversation, which is interesting between friends, because Ryan, when you came down here tonight, I said, "Hey, I know you. You don't know who I am," but I was like, "You're Bourbon Buddy, right?"
Yeah.
So like, you had a blog.
Yeah.
You had your Instagram persona. I think I saw you on Pursuit a couple times, right? Doing the community roundtable, things like that. And so you've been around whiskey for a long time.
Yeah.
I know that Tom said he has the brewing background, but like, isn't it a tough leap to like think about starting a company and actually start buying barrels and that? Or was it scary or like it's a natural thing?
Scary. So the funny thing is we got our first barrels, like it was only 25 barrels. Been on enough barrel picks, right? That that every barrel is different. But I grabbed Tom, like, Tom, what if all these barrels taste the same? Because like this whole company's built on single barrels. Like how how screwed would we be if that actually happened? So,
a lot of
it is
cross
scary.
your fingers kind of thing. We're gonna pop these bees open.
Yeah.
Oh, Cam, baby, get it, Cam.
Cam's got it.
Yeah, no, that was the wild thing. I mean, it was a big leap of faith, but it's been nothing but fun, and it's only been a year.
Yeah, it's almost. Yeah, it's not even been a whole. When was it? End of September? Early October,
it was.
So it hasn't been a year.
Yeah, September 23rd. I think we received our first barrels, so we're almost there.
Nice.
So tonight you have poured a few River Roots, and I honestly loved all 3 of the ones I tried tonight. And like the first time I saw you guys, it was someone sent me a post, and then they invited me into this Facebook group. And it actually was that 13-year hazmat done in port. And I had something similar around the same time frame, and I was like, that really piqued my interest. And now trying some other picks tonight, it really is, like you said, nothing tastes the same. It's all a lot different. It's so unique, and honestly, I haven't had one bad thing so far.
Yeah, thanks. Unlike the heritage distilleries and stuff, they're looking for flavor profiles and stuff like that. That's never going to be us, right? It's just always about just truly finding good whiskey. And to your point, Kenny, like older stuff it's a progression about anybody that's in this hobby, right? It's like you kind of start off the younger stuff, and then you're working your way through, and then we talked about Dusties. There's a lot of Dusties on the table right now, and you're just kind of going through the progression. But just trying to find old, interesting stuff is usually our preference. There's some young stuff that tastes interesting too. So,
yeah, Cam earlier tonight shared a younger hazmat whiskey that was honestly, it was amazing.
Less than 6 years old.
Yeah, it was awesome. So it doesn't always have to be old.
And when we're thinking about things, I mean, I mentioned you have the brewing background, you have the whiskey background. Mm-hmm. What started the love for whiskey? I mean, obviously you get pretty far from having your first couple of premium pours to own in a whiskey company, but where did it start for either of you guys, like the love for whiskey?
It started long before mine did. Yeah, I brewed beer professionally for 30 years. And during
30.
that,
Wow.
30, yeah, I started.
Nice.
But did you work for like any of the Cleveland breweries or anything? Or?
Yeah, I was the head brewer at Fatheads for quite a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I've enjoyed a lot of your products, sir. When you were brewing.
Yeah, cool, man. I'll tell you, that was a great one to work for because I don't know, always on the cutting edge, finding the best ingredients, sourcing all the best hops. It was a great place to work for. But my bourbon. I guess my bourbon fascination came probably like within the last 6 or so years, and I really kind of only thought of myself as a beer guy first, but a dude that also liked bourbon, you know?
Right. I can
and
relate.
was starting to scratch the surface of really what was out there. But it really wasn't until, frankly, this last year that, holy smokes, man, there's a whole lot to know and there's a whole lot to learn. And every time you crack a bottle with Ryan Lintz, it becomes an education session, and it's the greatest thing. No. Yeah, I love it. That's what I'm saying is like, man, this is, and Cam, when Cam shows up too, I just like watching, their crazy minds just really get down and dirty with everything, and it's become more of a fascination for me, deeper than I thought it could have gone. So and we all still learn. I'll always still be learning.
Right.
It's just at the beginning of it,
Nice.
That's what I've said a few times, is that the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
So, gosh, dang, man.
Well, that's when people would be like, "Oh, you're the brewmaster, such as a brewer." I was like, "No, man, I'm not the master of anything."
Yeah.
Maybe I remember I was saying maybe when I get to the 20-year mark of doing this, then I can allow that title. And 20-year mark happened. I was like, no, still not doing it. I got to the 30-year mark, and I still hated it then. So, I mean, nobody masters anything. We all learn. We're always still learning. Yeah.
We just did an episode recently on Jimmy Russell with his 70th year anniversary.
How wild, yeah.
Yeah. Just wild, man.
Yeah, but so that's just me. But Ryan, his fascination with bourbon started much, much long before mine. So
yeah, I mean, I think how I got into bourbon is I was really not. Sorry, Tom. Never really into the beer. It's just too filling, too much volume. I can't,
it's like taking a loaf of bread.
I was a beer guy, no more, because of that reason. I have a hard time. Like, it took me 3 hours the other day just to drink like one Goose Island Stout.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, well, I only share those. I don't just drink those by myself. I'm like, well, it took me 3.5 hours to get through one bottle. I'm like, so I was okay with that.
Yeah. It's just, so beer was just to get from point A to point B. It just took a long time. And I was like, oh, I'll try this bourbon stuff. And I remember I had a Maker's and an Elmer T. Lee. And I was like, oh, I like Elmer T. Lee. I'll go on the internet. And this is like, I don't even know, guys. Like, this was a while ago. Like, looking up, I was on Straight Bourbon.
There wasn't many places.
There wasn't many places back. There was no Facebook, so
right.
Just kind of doing research then about like what I could drink and stuff like that. My personality is like when I like something, I want to research, right? I want to like figure it out. I want to go down the rabbit hole, and then like so my progression is like, okay, I'm nerding out. I might as well record it, and I might as well do a blog, and which the website's long gone by now. But like, there's a progression to it.
Oh,
all.
it's
and then,
gone.
Like, let's buy.
Oh, man.
I didn't pay for to keep
no.
the website going, so I lost all that.
You can probably look it up on Wayback Machine, but go ahead.
Yeah,
there you go.
Talk about
there
that.
You go.
I'd really like to get. We did this one with sea barrels. We did like a bracket of all the Willett sea barrels. I really would like to get that content.
Imagine being able to do that.
There you go.
Yeah,
you just did a bracket of sea barrels. There you go.
Yeah, it was fun.
In order to do a bracket of sea barrels, you have to be in it for a long time.
Yeah,
to do that.
But yeah, so that's kind of my progression, is kind of like starting off from the very get-go. And yeah, I mean, really, I don't drink beer. I don't drink wine. I just drink whiskey, and when I'm at a restaurant, like cocktail. I have a hard time. It's even more. It was even before when I was just like a consumer, but now owning a bourbon company, unless they have River Roots at the bar or the restaurant, I will buy a pour of that. Outside of that, I'm usually getting a cocktail.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's hard to pay like $30 for a pour that you're like, I could go home and just.
Yeah, I've got
100%.
Right.
Right. I always tell people that.
I do not drink when I'm out. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm too cheap and too tight because I'm like, I've got way better stuff here for way cheaper.
Yeah. It's like Mick Ultra or like, an old fashioned. And then they put Sprite in it and you're like, God, come on.
Yeah. I do pedal. I pedal back when I had a couple of whiskey, because seltzers are all the things. So I'll have a seltzer and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you a White Claw? Are you a Natty? What kind of seltzer?
Oh, this is a great question. You know what? I like the kind of the canned cocktails now. There's like some nice Arnold Palmers going around right now. That's nice. Kenny's passing out.
Kenny's getting the camps of blinds over here. That's good.
I'm blind and old laser coat over there.
Trulies? I like Trulies over White Claws.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know, guys.
I'm a good boy vodka guy.
Kenny, you gave me a Kenzie glass, my arch nemesis.
Those are good.
Can I just say, like, Tom is keeping cool right now, but he just wants to barf all over the table right now. We're talking about seltzers.
I'm trying to keep my mouth shut here. It's like, oh man, table full of girls. I didn't know that was going to be happening.
Hey, we used to have pretty extensive discussions about seltzers on the mashup, but that was many, many episodes ago. And the one guy who really liked to drink them, our buddy Michael, he doesn't really come on to record as much anymore. So, but yeah, I'm kind of not really. I'm with you.
Well,
I'm not. That's not
so
my favorite.
I am bourbon, I am coffee, and I am water.
Yeah.
So I am drunk, jittery, or hydrated, one of the three. And that's about it.
And you're or fully saturated.
That's right. Yeah, fully saturated, hydrated, or jittery. So that's all I drink pretty much.
Oh, you go all out with that coffee and do the pour over at 205 degrees?
I have, so I have that set up upstairs. Thanks to Mosick. Thanks to Mosick, I have that set up. And
do
I do
you
have
really?
pour over. Yeah, I really do.
Right on.
But I usually just cheapen out. I have a Bosch little coffee machine. Or I just honestly go to Starbucks.
Bosch that makes the power tools?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is River Roots like, okay, how did you guys name the company? I'm just asking because being Cleveland centric, were you thinking of like the Cuyahoga River? Like,
Not initially. Well,
yeah. I mean, so the progression when we were drinking that Sea Barrel back, it was more. Tom and I both live in the city of Rocky River. It's a suburb of Cleveland.
I'm familiar. Yep.
So River Roots, Rocky River.
Okay.
But there's other partners in the Cleveland area that also helped us get to this point. So, and the Cuyahoga River, for those of the listeners, goes right through Cleveland. So yes, the story is River Roots is the Cuyahoga River, kind of connecting us all into forming this company.
Right.
I like that. And the Cuyahoga River has caught on fire, as people hopefully have known.
Somebody had to bring that up.
Somebody had to bring it up. Only people from Northeast Ohio bring that up right now.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. We just there's a group in Cleveland, the Cleveland Bourbon
How does
Club.
water catch on fire? Sorry, go ahead.
They picked a rye barrel and they called it Burning River. So us Clevelanders are the ones that make fun of ourselves the most. I feel like
absolutely.
always about that.
It only happened 2 times.
I know.
I mean, come on. No big deal.
Jeez.
Once in the 60s and once in the 70s, I think is how that happened.
They've cleaned it up now. It's better.
No, it is, but don't swim in it, but it's, it's better.
What you got going on there, Cam?
Yeah, that left glass. Whatever
Like
that
left?
Yeah.
Okay.
The right is lower proof, more reserved, still dusty, butterscotchy, but that left glass, I don't know what that is.
You like the left?
Yeah, chocolatey, intense.
Okay.
So chocolatey and delicious.
You're looking at me like I'm wrong.
No. I just poured them. So I poured some.
No, you absolve yourself of any guilt.
Hey,
I just poured them. I don't know.
Yeah. Which I love blinding people in general. We do blinds all the time.
I love blinds.
But, so blind to Cam, but,
That right glass is more refined, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah. The left glass feels younger, but they're both dusties, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the left glass is Wild Turkey MDS 14.
God. Yeah, that's why I like that.
And the right glass is the Wild Turkey 17-year export. So,
Surprise!
wants to try some 17-year export tonight. I thought we'd pour some 17-year export. Anybody wants in there?
So that one felt more refined, I think. That makes sense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just splitting hairs here.
No, it is though. So we do this, the MDS 14, the 15-year tribute, and then like 85 Radiate CGF. And they honestly, every time we blind them, we have a different winner, a different first, second, and third place, because it really is splitting hairs. It's more of what you're in the mood for that night with those, because they really are a lot different.
I've heard so much about that 14 MDS.
Yeah.
This, to me, confirms
Yeah, it's
all
good,
of that.
man.
There you go. The first time I was ever here for one of those blinds, I just sat here and I was like, I'm not allowed to be here because I don't know enough about these whiskeys to even form an opinion. But yeah, that's happened quite a few times.
So Kenny, that's the right glass.
Yeah.
Okay. I see these.
Sounds like I got it mixed up. I mean, I don't know.
I see these on secondary all the time, and I've always wondered, what does that taste like?
Man, yeah, they're great. It's secondary's tough, man. There's just older turkey like that. It's jumped up a lot the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's
Cool. That's a really cool bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that'd be good.
great.
So what's the proof on
Heavy
on
pewter.
that?
101.
Bottom.
And is the MDS 101?
Yeah,
They're the same proof. Wow.
99% sure they are.
Don't make them like this anymore.
The actual 15-year,
somebody with
tribute's the 110 proof one. That's the export one. But these should both be 101.
Man.
This one, this hits like dusty all over it. Like of the one, and we've tasted some dusties even before this. But
Get it back to Cam.
But it's in a very nice way.
Pour some more of that, Cam, and make sure I didn't mix up your left and right. I told you I was half saturated.
Do you even have a clean glass over there or not?
Yeah, you got that ASMR, Cam.
So try that, Cam, against the left and right. And make sure I didn't mix you up over there. I could have mixed you up, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
That's crazy.
Usually I take pictures because I actually forget crap.
No, you didn't mix them up.
Okay, yeah.
I just now have a double pour.
There we go.
Let's go.
That's all right.
There you go. So going back, I got to ask more questions. I'm like so curious about different things you guys got going on. So you started about a year ago, right?
Yep.
And what kind of so only single barrels? Do you do any blending? Like what's that like? And then who's doing the blending? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we're mostly single barrels, and our labels that we have for our single barrels are, pretty customizable, very customizable for customers. Really, there should be no need for a customer to do any sort of stickers and putting that type of stuff on our bottles because our labels are very customized.
I was going to say, I actually told Cam earlier when we recorded last week's episode, I told Cam, I'm like, you basically have a beautiful sticker that is like somebody doing like a group sticker, but you already have it done. Yeah. It's already on the bottle. Like it's literally the sticker is already on the bottle.
Guys, done a lot of barrel picks. I've tatered out 1,000%. I put the stickers on, I put the wax on. So the River Roots is really all that integrated. There's wax on the bottle.
I wasn't going to say tater, but it already has a tater sticker included. Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
You got to own it.
Hey, I understand that there's a lot of NDPs out there and, there's a lot of good whiskey. So I like the personalization. If you're picking a barrel, why not make it your own, right? The bottles that you have. So our labels are super customizable, and that will be always kind of our focus is having those single barrel offerings. But yeah, we do some batches or some blends. In particular, what we've been realizing, especially in the Cleveland area, is people are coming in like, God, do you have anything that isn't like high octane, high proof stuff? We're like, not really.
Better come up with something.
Yeah. So we have some a lower. We call it the Founder's Reserve, which is like a 5-year-old bourbon that's proof down to 95 proof, and then we have coming out in the next month or so 100 proof 95.5 rye whiskey coming out. That's lower proof.
95 proof. That's 5 proof points away from non-alcoholic. So that's cool.
And then we have some other things like we're going to be doing 10-year-old Kentucky bourbon that's been double oaked and stuff like that. But really, we're not quite there yet, honestly, in the evolution of the company. Right now, we're just trying to find really good whiskey. We want to get out a good product, right? We're picking good barrels. We feel like we have a pretty good idea of where to source from, and we're getting good barrels. But then, kind of working towards finding a good blend and making that all possible. We're kind of making little steps towards that. So,
and so when you say small, how many barrels are you talking about? Like right now, how many barrels does River Roots own? If you want to tell us,
in the Rick House right now, 52.
52.
Yeah.
See, that's small. That's a small.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, super boutique. Very, very fluid.
Yeah. But it's amazing because you telling me that, and I'm sitting here thinking about the reception that your stuff has gotten. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what people think.
That's great.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing
great
the reception you guys have gotten. So you're putting out amazing product for only having that many barrels around.
I mean, as a whiskey enthusiast, I say whiskey nerd, whiskey enthusiast dream. I mean, what y'all are doing, it's pretty cool.
Guys, we're just 100%.
Y'all are whiskey guys.
We're literally hey, all these cool places, send us samples, and we'll buy your barrels, and then we'll bottle them and have the. When Cam comes and does barrel picks
and brings his laptop,
Tom and I, and his glasses,
my notepad,
his own glasses with stems.
Speaking of whiskey nerds,
I bring stickers too.
But no, it's a blast, right? He's shamed.
I love it.
Oh my god!
I gotta go.
We love the Cam visits, man. It's always fun when Cam shows up.
Again, we're just all like you guys, right? We're just having a blast trying to find good whiskey, and when individuals like you all come, that's the most fun, right? So
that's awesome.
Just being able, and it's like we're not like bigger distilleries where we're like, hey, Cam, sorry, man, we got these 3 barrels for you, take it or leave it. We're like, how much time you got? You wanna get weird? So and like how many? So we'll go through as many as they feel like.
Are all the barrels in Ohio?
Yeah, at our facility. Yeah.
Okay, wow. So I was really wondering if you like got to the point yet, or are you thinking in the future if you're gonna like put stuff and have it in different rick houses all over the place, or if you're just gonna be in Ohio? Because I mean, I know the Ohio climate pretty well, but I mean, of course, if you're getting barrels that are coming from other places already aged, then it ages a different place. That could add a new profile to it. A lot of different stuff.
Well,
we've been
these are active conversations that we've had.
No,
for
it's
sure.
awesome though. I mean,
we're looking at like a bigger place. Our place is small, but I don't think we're ever going to be at the spot where we're like, hey, I want somebody to make our particular mash bill, right, and let it age in there. When we originally built the business plan, maybe sort of we were thinking about it, but like the more I think about it, is that's not us, right? Like,
right.
We're more into just finding already aged spirits and, bringing it in. And we have so little barrels to the point, like 52 barrels. It's literally bring it in, bring it out. Bring it in, bring it out.
Right.
What else cool stuff's on the market? Let's bring it in. All right. Who wants it? A lot of people want it.
Yeah.
Out. What's the next thing in? I mean, Cam, once Cam's doing picks with us, like every month, every 2 months, we're bringing in new stuff to taste. So
there you go.
And
I'm a tater for River Roots.
Well, it makes it fun, right? We don't have any particular taste profile or anything. So
well, that's one thing I say to the Patreon is like, we might be picking River Roots every month or every 2 months, but everything's different. Except for the rye, like we picked a lot of the rye, but
well, there's a new batch of the rye too.
Yeah, and we did that too.
Yeah, we did that too.
But like the double oaked, which is going to be coming up, the ryes, the Kentucky bourbon. I'm like, guys, it's in the same bottle, but it's not the same whiskey,
right?
And I think that's important. But also, like, just to River Roots' credit, transparency. Like for the double oak stuff coming up, like you guys putting the Kelvin logo on the label.
Right.
And saying that these are reconditioned, barrels at Kelvin, no one's doing that. Mm-hmm. And I think as an enthusiast, when you see a lot of NDPs on the market right now sourcing the same stuff, the differentiator number one is price, and then after that it's transparency. And you guys nail both of those. So
thanks, Cam. And I think also as being enthusiasts, we know Kelvin is a cooperage that people respect. So like, why not use it as a marketing thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey. Kelvin, reconditioned these barrels, so it works out both ways. And when we heard the credentials, it's all about like, hey, what's out on the market, and seeing particular things that are like, it's
from here. I wish we could say where it came from.
Yeah. This old from this distillery. Kelvin Cooperage did these particular things to us, like, check. What's the proof? Oh, it's like 130, check. It's just like, okay, I'm interested. Send me a sample. Oh, wait, it tastes good. How many can we get?
Yeah, no doubt.
That's been the fun part so far is just Ryan's got his finger on the pulse of these really kind of strange and unique and fun and different barrels that just seem to just show up. Hey, you guys, holy smokes, I just got an email. We have the opportunity to look at these and taste these, and it's just never boring,
Actually, that reminds me, Tom, of I know we were talking. We have all sorts of 10-year-old stuff from good distilleries. It's been double oaked. We have an 18-year-old coming out here soon. We had that, as Kenny was talking about, the 13-year-old bourbon that was finished in port wine barrels. But then also, I think what's forgotten, and kind of the cool thing is, it's not all bourbon related. We had that 13-year American malt whiskey that was like hazmat, like 152, which was like wild, weird stuff.
Oh,
we only had
bottle of malt.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Dang.
Weird. Like,
wow.
And yeah, I mean, so again, guys, like we're just nerding out.
I missed out.
Yeah.
My heart sank.
We only
just
had
now.
4 barrels of those.
Yeah,
My heart sank.
I should have brought a bottle down.
Oh,
Yeah.
Malt's my jam,
it's
man.
got a finish that goes on for days.
malt's my jam.
Yeah, he really is enjoying a lot of the malt that's coming
Pass
to the
out to
market.
Cam.
Yep.
And you guys are hitting it at the right time too. Like, I mean, I guess if there were the highest of highs, obviously everybody that was into bourbon saw what happened, like right into the build up to COVID and during COVID, and then right now we're kind of moving back down. And when I say down, I mean things they're still hot, but they're not like massively hot. And I wondered, is that helping you guys at all with the barrel stuff or the barrel prices coming down for sure, stuff like that?
So the first barrels we bought Kentucky bourbon. It was 5 years old. And the price that we paid for that a year and a half ago, and what it would be now, is completely different. The market is totally flipped. To your point, it couldn't have worked out any better, honestly, from us starting the company. The market has totally shifted. And like I said, we have such a small amount of barrels. It makes us very fluid within the market, right? So, like, we're gonna taste some pretty epic barrels tomorrow, and we're gonna get a small quantity of them. And, maybe 6 months from now, we're kicking ourselves because we didn't get 12 or 24 of these. But, hey, it is what it is. I don't know. I feel like we're just going to flow with the market and just kind of see where it takes us. But right now, no, it's good.
That's good.
I just passed a bottle around the table that had no label on it.
Yeah.
So when all y'all poured a little bit.
Tom, it's one of them dusters again.
It smells like cherry cola.
I am really digging it.
So yeah, see what y'all think about that one.
Good God, on the nose.
Yeah.
So like the nose has that like seasoned oak kind of nose to it.
I don't know if is it?
It's kind of lower, little lower. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I'm with
is
you.
it Stitzel or is it?
It's got some. I don't think it's Bernheim.
God, what am I thinking of the other? What's the other group of? Blanking on.
KBD.
I'm rusty at the old distillery names back in the day.
I can tell you if you want.
Don't trouble yourself.
Kenny, so Kenny's been palate training me for a while, and I'm finally getting decent, so I can ruin the streak tonight. But this to me is this Old Turkey.
Oh wait, I figured it out. No, I didn't figure it out. But I'm saying I figured out what the name of it. National Distillers.
Okay, ND. So Anthony is on it. This is some older turkey.
It's finally paying off.
It's working.
I only had to drink with Kenny for 3 years for this to happen.
Yeah, I got
I can see the old turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have,
How old?
So what is the proof?
101.
Is it 101?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what kind of turkey. I can just say Old Turkey. That's it.
Yeah,
I like this better than the 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
This
I don't know about
is
the 14 though.
yeah, it's very good.
This is one of the ones that gets thrown in the mix. There's 4 or 5 turkeys that all get put at their Mount Rushmore, and this is one of them.
Is this the cuvee?
No, but cuvee is great, but like a cuvee is more like a BD or an older CGF. You're just paying a lot more for it because of the rarity of going to France and getting cut with their water and stuff like that. This is a 1988 CGF.
Wow.
So this is mine and Ryan's first interaction.
You son of a- I was gonna say.
That's funny.
I was gonna say. I was like.
That's why I did it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. God, that's crazy, man. Wow. What a small world.
That's why I did
I
it.
shouldn't have sold you this.
That's why I did it.
Wait, you sold Kenny this bottle?
An
couple
88.
years ago.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
God, that's wild.
This is so good. I like this better than the
I agree.
MDS.
So I'm telling you, MDS 14, 15-year tribute, 17-year export, and then 85 or 88 CGF, either one. When we do all those, we legitimately, every time we blind them, we get a different first through fourth place every time. Because it doesn't matter what you're in the mood for, because it literally is splitting hairs. They're all amazing.
Well, how long ago was that purchase?
I think 2 years.
2 years ago.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
over 2 years.
God, that's crazy.
That's so
So
funny.
That's why I did it.
In 88,
Secondary, man.
I had to.
and as soon as you said 88, 89 were like kind of like that perfect spot for the cheesy gold foils. That was like, in the part of collecting whiskeys and stuff like that, you kind of know where that sweet spot is. So like if you're going to get bottles, you don't want to get. Not saying that 90 or 91 cheesy gold foils are better, but that 88, 89, woo wee.
I love it.
It's kind of like this bottle that I have that I brought over here. It's like total nerd out wild turkey. It's from a Russell's Reserve. Gosh, I don't even know how old it was, but it's a very early production, very first label.
Old school Russell's 10.
Yeah. And it was out the laser code on it, which was like supposedly older stock of barrels that came from a rick house.
It says Russell's 10, but
Yeah.
it contains some older stock in there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's. I haven't had any of that tonight.
The Russell's 10 is coming around now.
Yes.
Nice.
That made a good squeak and a pop. I hope the mic picked that up. That was good.
So Tom and I are working on. We have synthetic corks right now. We just talked to a guy.
I pay attention to squeaks and pops now that we've had this conversation with this broker or potential new.
Yeah, getting.
I can tell Tom's the
dealer.
detail-oriented one. And,
No, man. You'd be surprised. It's Ryan all day long.
I'm joking.
Tom's like, I've got a cork guy.
Right.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you want to say, man? I appreciate you guys coming on and just coming over tonight. It's good hanging.
Good
I'm excited for you guys for tomorrow, man. It's gonna be fun.
Thanks. Yeah, it's
I'm not going to disclose anything, but because but your all's audience will see it coming shortly. I'm assuming.
I don't know what happened to the cork to that.
Yeah,
where'd
that?
Is this mine?
Ron's got
it.
Stayed over there.
Yeah, it's a kind of the progression of it all, and again getting access to cool barrels and being able to. The cool thing about this particular one is that we're doing, and we get to taste the barrels that we're actually going to bring to River Roots, which makes me feel even more confident that the barrels that we're bringing in are going to be great. So.
Right.
That's what is great is y'all are going there to taste them because, I mean, that's the thing. It's there's so many times that I've tasted a sample, and then once you actually get it, it tastes totally different. And who knows? Like just literally a minute ago, I only poured 2 blinds. Walked them over to Cam and thought I might have got them mixed up.
Yeah.
So when you get samples in the mail, who knows if they really are the exact ones of what you've picked and all that stuff. So y'all are definitely smart coming to taste those.
Well, with that said, like as an NDP, you're typically buying somewhat blind, right? I mean,
because you're buying. It's a good question, Cam. Yeah, because usually they'll send you hey, here's a barrel sample from the lot, and then you're like, okay, well that's that particular profile. And some places, like in Indiana, you really don't even need them, right? You just know that it's going to be in this particular threshold and stuff like that. But sometimes when you're talking about the older age stuff that come from heritage distilleries, you get a taste of it, but then there could be wild differences between them all. So, you're kind of taking a little bit of a gamble. So when you're getting stuff that's old, and expensive, you would prefer to just taste them all. And so that's why we're down here is we're tasting, we're getting some old stuff, and that's expensive. So why not taste them all?
Yeah.
Well, Russell is good. Thank you, Ron.
Yeah.
I was looking at the back of this bottle, this Russell's bottle, and it actually says D&M Wine and Liquor in San Francisco, California. It has a phone number.
Let's call him.
I should call him right now.
This bottle's bad. Can I return it?
Bottle's bad. Can I return it?
What's that number, Anthony?
They still in business?
Yeah. What is it? We'll see.
It's are you kidding me right now? It says 415 346 1325.
Tell them your name is Bourbon Buddy.
There you go.
This is a plug for whatever place this is. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God. Watch, somebody's going to answer the phone. It's not going to be even.
It's earlier out there, I guess.
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, my God. So it's going to answer the phone. It's going to be someone's home number now.
What's the name of it? What's the name of the liquor store? D.
I wonder if they're out of business.
D&M Wine and Liquor.
Okay. In what city? In California?
In San Francisco, California.
San Francisco.
It's just ringing. There's nothing happening.
That's bad business practice.
It's not going to happen. There.
We got a Yelp a negative review because they didn't pick up.
Live on the air.
Spirits in San Francisco. We are open 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Mondays, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday, and 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Fridays and Saturday.
Hey, listen.
Leave a voicemail.
Oh, Sunday's
Remain on the
closed.
line.
Okay, that makes sense.
Please leave a message.
Let's go.
This is Anthony Limperos, and I am looking to purchase more Russell's Reserve 10-year. I have a bottle here that, if you can give me a call back, Anthony, what's my number again?
Shut up. Come on. You better leave your number.
Dang it. Hang on. Give me a call.
Nope. Do
At,
not. Do not.
330. I won't say your number on public, but you have a very good Russell's Reserve 10-year, so congratulations to you all. Bye.
Cam's too young to know it, but this is back in the day, the old prank calls and stuff like that.
Can't do anything.
What are you doing, dude? Holy cow.
Just another drunk guy calling about this thing again. Should have never put that phone number on those
Actually,
labels.
you probably take a picture of that. They would probably think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That has to be 20 years old.
So speaking of something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So dead serious. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let me grab this. This is one of the coolest things I've had in a while.
You've had some cool stuff already. I'm considering me excited.
Oh, my God. Sorry.
I'm half saturated, Kenny.
This tastes really good.
I almost laughed my eyes out of my head there for a second.
That Russell's, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it a lot.
He's always doing dumb stuff. The one time he called Buffalo Trace.
Oh, dear God, look
Left
at
a
that.
message for us on Sasser X thing.
Oh, Henry McKenna.
All right. So this is a 1966
Oh.
Henry McKenna. And this was had to be one of the very first picks ever. This was picked by Antonio LaRusso for Restaurant Corso in Altamora, Italy.
Dude, that's my grandpa.
So
That's pretty much your bottle. Like, that's like your heritage, man.
So I actually reached
Better
out to
give
him
it to
on-
him.
Yeah.
I took pictures of this. I found that Restaurant Course or whatever on Facebook.
Yeah.
Sent them pictures like, yes, that's us. We're still in business from back then.
Wow.
So I sent them pictures of this bottle, man, that they did a pick on back in freaking 1966.
Wow.
That is wild.
Yeah. Pretty freaking crazy.
Holy
Absolutely
smokes.
insane.
That's the McKenna picture of the bottle that we drank at the last Cleveland Bourbon Club meeting. That was from the 50s.
Wow. That is a cool looking bottle.
Nice.
Of course, that's the meeting I missed.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well, I know you guys are burning it up and like doing a great job of selecting a lot of good whiskey that you're bringing to Ohio and then sharing with the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever need any gimmicks, I think you guys should like take barrels and take them to the top of like the tallest buildings in Cleveland or something
Throw
like
them
that.
at someone.
And what's that?
Just throw them.
No, not throw them. Just age them up there for a little while and see if it changes.
Yeah,
anything.
like that Cleveland air.
There you go.
Yeah, the Lake Erie air.
I will
Cleveland
say-
survivor.
Yeah.
There you go. So all the fun, has there been any, I always like to ask this of everyone that's starting a bourbon brand.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's tried to sue you guys, hopefully, right? Or about your name or anything? Have you had any of that stuff going on?
Luckily, no.
And then
Checking the emails.
checking all that
hey,
stuff,
check
right?
the email
You
today,
just
Tom?
never know until somebody decides they want to pull the trigger on something. But any kind of like, it seems like it's all positive right now. Anything that like drawbacks or things that you want to share, like you're like, dang, I didn't know that, or anything that caught you off guard, or anything where you've been like, this isn't great, you know? Just to,
I think just like there's really just like the process of getting the company started. I think there's a lot of roadblocks along the way that I think a lot of people feel like it's too much of a pain, right? But we were just kind of persistent.
This has to do with like whiskey in general and the
Yeah,
laws
like
involved.
the whole federal and the state.
Antiquated laws.
Yeah, well,
Antiquated.
and like in Ohio in particular, like you require that you need to have a sprinkler system in the facility, like where you're storing, which is very expensive. So we would have had a much bigger area, which we could have brought more barrels into.
Right.
But we would have had to pay like $200,000 for it to be sprinkled to even allow it to happen. So there's all sorts of little nuances and things you learn along the way that are like, honestly, we could have stopped multiple times in starting this company to even like just like, all right, it's going to be too much of a pain in the butt. But it works out. But if anyone's ever thinking about like doing it, it's just kind of just got to jump in and kind of trust what your idea is. And there's going to be roadblocks around the way, but you just kind of figure it out. And right now, no, we haven't been sued, luckily, and there hasn't been too crazy stuff. But we've learned a lot this last year of doing stuff, and we're kind of honestly the way like we were talking about the business plan and like, hey, let's do some new make and we'll age your old stuff. You kind of like figure out along the way about like where you sit in the market and where you're really the places.
Right.
And that's not to say, and that's again one of the good things that we have with River Roots is we're 52 barrels. We're so small that we're able to kind of figure it out and kind of flow with it and try to find cool stuff along the way.
Yeah.
I don't know what to...
I actually really like having the our space limits us. We're not in a very big spot, and just like Ryan said, we kind of had to go with a place that had the sprinkler system in it. Although, how funny is this? I mean, if there's going to be a fire and there's 52 barrels of bourbon in there, I don't think the sprinklers are going to help at all.
Right.
Don't tell the fire.
It's kind of accelerant wrapped in firewood.
right.
But anyway, maybe it would. Who knows? But we've been having a great time, and And space dictates how many barrels we can have. And the really fun thing, I think, has been, and I think Ryan will agree too, we're getting new stuff in and we're getting stuff out, and we're getting new stuff in, and there's just some really cool things that are out there that we're just trying to unearth. There are some barrels that are just, how does somebody not have these already? Right. We have access to this, or this. Jump on it. Let's go. Let's try it. And our main thing is let's seek out and curate some of the special and the unique and the fun and the weird, so that people like you and I and everybody sitting here can just enjoy them. And
actually, Tom, that's an interesting thing, because Tom and I actually have had conversations where we're like, hey, like, should we sell some of these barrels that we've had for a little bit? Like, kind of getting bored of them. You want to just sell them and try to get something new? Like, yeah, let's do that, right? Like, that's the kind of that's what we're talking about, right? It's just like, we're here, sitting here, and there's we probably honestly have had little sippy poos of probably like
that's right,
little sippy poos, guys, of like 15 barrels. And we just showed up. I don't know how many you guys had pregame before we even showed up, but like, again, it's about, I love the variety that we have in this hobby, right? Like, you're able to try all these different things along the way. And so, like, man, would it be boring, Tom, if we had the same thing? And even if it was the same thing in different barrels, that's not as much fun, right? But man, is it fun when we get 4 barrels of some really cool stuff.
That's kind of the thrilling and exciting part, at least, on my end. It's like, hey, we're going to phase out, our 6 years, and we're going to move on to something totally different. Okay, cool. We for the last year have been selling our 5-6 year bourbon. That's been doing great for us. But all right, let's out with the old and with the new. Let's find some new stuff to take its place.
Right.
Because the stuff is out there.
Here's that 1966 McKenna.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
All right.
So.
If I have to.
Yeah. Heaven Hill's
It's one of the older ones I've got open. So.
Well, it's funny when you guys said we're small, but we're moving things in and out. The very first time I saw somebody posting on a Facebook group, and I had no idea about River Roots, I'm seeing like RR's going for this, RR for this, RR 160, and I'm like, why are these guys paying $160 for a Russell's Reserve?
Yeah.
I'm sure you get that a lot. I'm like, what are these guys talking about? And I'm like, oh, it's not Russell's Reserve, it's River Roots.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to find a different abbreviation for your Facebook crowd.
We could do the RRBC. Yeah, that would be the real abbreviation for it. We're just too lazy. Those 4 extra letters, 2 extra letters, man.
No, it's so funny.
I gotta talk to Bruce and Ryan, obviously, and say, come on, guys. I mean, can we share these?
Yeah. Even though you didn't create this.
Yeah.
People are getting us confused with this RR stuff here. I have another question I want to ask, but I don't know, Kenny. I don't want to be dominating the conversation here with you.
Oh, you're good, man.
Okay.
Cam and I are working on saturation.
You guys are working.
So we're going to let you 3 talk.
Okay. Well, my biggest thing was this too, right? So I was pretty into Rare Character when they launched, and I can't remember who it was. I was talking to someone recently, and they were like, I see this River Root stuff. I'm looking at Rare Character, not saying anything about y'all looking the same at all, 0. But a similar kind of a concept, I would say.
Yeah.
At least what they were doing. I'm saying this, but it's not what I intend to mean with it. You're like, oh, is River Roots the new Rare Character? And I'm like, I don't know if I'd phrase it like that, but I just wondered what y'all thought, if you've heard that comparison, or I mean, surely you've paid attention to what they're doing and what they've done in the last couple of years, right?
100%. Yeah. And Pablo and that group, they're the best, if not one of the best of the MDPs, right? Like they do an amazing job. I mean, I think we have our own little spin to it, some differences and stuff like that. I think we have a little bit, again, it's kind of like the personalization to a label. And we could go back into like Smooth Ambler, right? Remember when they started to put the stamps on it and people were starting to put that? That was kind of like the first personal. It's just like the evolution of the single barrel program. It's about giving more real estate to the company. So the stickers, this is kind of the culmination of that. So I mean, it's all kind of in the same realm, but they all have their differences too. I mean,
I like your bottle too. I mean, that's a nice looking bottle.
Yeah,
it's more unique.
And and I don't know. Well, some of you guys, if you're lucky enough, like some of the new stuff we get coming out, like our 18-year-old, we have a cool label. It's kind of, again, it's kind of like an evolution. We're kind of like figuring out where's a good spot for us and what our customers want and stuff like that.
But like as somebody picking those barrels,
right?
You know, with the single barrel stuff, when you have the chance to put your own image at the top of the, you know, you don't have to make a sticker, which is tough because usually stickers get applied, at least on my end.
Yeah.
Once those bottles get to Bourbon Outfitter,
right,
then those warehouse folks put the stickers on. You know, to avoid all of that, Ryan just sets it up where it's like you just put your image at the top of the bottle. So you send the design, you get a proof back, and it's pretty cool to be able to personalize a bottle that way. So
so it's your sticker,
and it's yours. You know, like I don't
sweet.
know,
Okay.
like I don't know if Rare Character is like personalized or if it's like something they do on their own, because some of them have like similar looks, especially the Exceptional series like malts have similar designs. But I think just speaking for River Roots, you know, as a consumer picking those barrels, it's pretty cool to personalize those.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's all about the experience for the customer. Again, you're spending a lot of money on a barrel, right? Like you're putting your neck out there. Why not make it as personalized as possible? So yeah, I mean, there's definitely similarities to it all, but it's all in, you know, the experience for the customer.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, everyone, I have no doubt you guys deliver unique value. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking, like, even when we started this podcast, a lot of it was from the consumer end, right?
Right.
So you're only thinking about that. Like, y'all are as close as I get to, like, talking to, like, when I talk to Bruce Russell and talk to a couple other people, I'm like, man, I got no business talking to any of these people, right? Y'all are in the industry. I'm just thinking of it from the guy that's, like, going to the store and looking at the shelf, or being in these groups, like a couple of private barrel groups, and seeing people pick these barrels. And so that's why I was just wondering.
No, it's a great question. Yeah. And, you know, the funny thing is you say people in the industry, it's still funny. It was like, because, like.
But you're in the industry.
Yeah,
right?
we're in the industry.
Is that a weird thing to like think about or wrestle with? Or
yeah.
I don't know if wrestle with is, that sounds kind of dramatic, but, you know.
No.
Like just, you know what I mean?
It's keeping me up at night.
Yeah, because I'm a consumer first, right? I was telling Cam the other day, I drinking the 18-year-old, and yeah, we didn't distill it, but like, you ever like make dinner for your family and you like eat it, you're like, it just doesn't taste very good, but everyone else in the family like, oh yeah, this tastes great. It's like, why isn't anything that we like? I have a very critical view of anything that we have, and I was sent Cam a text. I was like, is 18-year-old really that good? And then the next day I tasted it again. I'm like, wait a second, Cam, it's actually really good. Yeah. I was like, wait. I was like, yeah. So
I had it earlier. It's very good.
Yeah. Again, I see everything through a consumer point of view, right? Of like what I want to purchase and what I want to drink.
Yeah.
And then now somebody's saying like, oh, you're part of the industry. You're part. And it's like, actually, Drew Colesveen, when we announced that we were going to go out, he sent a message to welcome to the industry. I'm like,
wow,
blown away.
Wow,
yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Shout out to Drew. Drew, I want River Roots at the Willet Bar. Hit me up, homie.
There you go.
Slide into my DMs.
There you go. Well, geez, we've never done a mashup pick for anything, and I'd love for it to be a River Roots pick, so maybe we'll work on that.
That would be great.
There you go. Kenny's looking at me like, no, you ain't got no money for that, man.
You just love Buffalo Trace so much. I'm like, your first pick, you want to be Buffalo Trace.
You know, Buffalo Trace ain't giving us anything.
River Roots.
Well,
no.
Well, maybe not. Yeah.
Cam said that.
I'm teasing. I always mess with him. I just call him a tater all the time.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's all good. But no, that's crazy, man.
How was that 1966? I thought it was like desserty.
Yeah, very much.
so when do we get to drink the good stuff, Kenny?
Well, speaking of that, let's see. Y'all want rye or bourbons, or what do you want here? Let's figure something out. Speaking of rye, I just poured this Raconteur rye again.
Yeah.
It is. I love it. I'm in love with it. Love it.
It does give that. You said like kind of like a creamier note.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely get that.
Batch 2 Raconteur.
Batch 2, right there's the batch 2.
That's the batch 2.
Since I have a couple of these coming in the old mail soon.
Oh yeah, I got my box in. It's upstairs on the left seat. Cam saw it.
Yep.
I have I got the Wild Turkey rye pick that we did, and the Raconteur batch 2, and I got Ryan's little Starlight short barrel bin.
How was that Starlight? I saw that.
It's actually good
on BO. I saw
it. It actually honestly is good. So what happened a while back? I was telling. So Ryan Alves, you know Ryan.
Yeah.
So he does a lot of picks, tons of picks, and a few of them he'll put his like Who Rhino, like WHORYNO.
Yeah, it's just like IG,
and that's his thing.
Yeah.
So I was like talking in the group text, like, yeah, man, if Ryan ever puts his actual pick on, because there's picks he'll do that honestly aren't good. Just like you talked about earlier, if you go to a legacy distillery, hey, here's these 3 barrels. You're picking from 3 barrels. You might pick the best of the 3, but it doesn't mean it's great, though, right?
Right. Yeah.
So Ryan does picks, and he'll on-pick that aren't great. They're good, but they're not great. But if he puts his stamp on it, it's boom, So I was saying that in the group text. He's like, well, you haven't bought any of my Starlight yet. So I bought 2 of them, and honestly, it's really good. I'm honestly dead serious. It actually, I think it's 4.5 year, 5 year, but it's a super short barrel.
Do you have it down here?
I do.
Okay.
Is it a bourbon
I just
or
grabbed
a rye?
one. Bourbon. Yeah, it's actually good. But just like his actual TKO is awesome, man.
The TKO is unbelievable.
Gosh, dang it. That's going to finish high in our blinds this year, man.
Yeah.
I really do.
We did that on the Bourbon Junkies, the 8 rye blind video, but it was the first pour. The first pour never does well in those videos, and it got like 6th place, and we were like, well, we messed up, Ryan was so mad.
I really appreciated that video specifically because we were able to use that video to basically embarrass Sean in front of Bruce.
I poured Sean Triumph.
Well, no, listen.
Poured Sean Triumph blind.
I don't like Triumph, so like, and I mean, I would say that to whoever.
But Sean didn't eat until I blinded him with it, and he loved it.
Did he love it?
Yes.
All right.
Once I blinded him with it, he loved it.
I got a sample from somebody, and I was like, I'm not into this. And in that blind, when it was, now, to be fair, it was up against 140 proof TKO.
Right.
But still, like after that blind, I'm like, well, it proves that I don't really like Triumph. Like I'm just, turkey ryes are maybe not my thing.
Man, turkey ryes are my jam, dude.
But I haven't had that
just
pick
like
that you guys did.
51% rye.
Yeah.
Just,
Kentucky rye.
It's good Kentucky rye,
God,
bro.
I think I'm in the minority.
Have you ever had Christmas rye?
Oh, the wild turkey. Yeah, the Christmas rye. Yeah.
That's out. No.
It's one of my favorites ever of all time.
So, Kenny,
no.
Yeah. No, just kidding.
Actually,
the open Christmas rye is there. You get down that rabbit hole.
Cam and his scotch. That's why you don't like Kentucky rye, bro. You like scotch.
So,
all right. The saturation has increased.
I'm 3/4, bro. I'm 3/4.
Tom and Ryan, I have to ask you one more thing here, okay?
Yeah, sure.
You guys have Michael Simon involved in your company as well. He's a Greek and Italian guy, and I know him from that way, just from being that he's every time there's any kind of a famous Greek person, everyone's excited.
Anthony's Greek. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Right.
You can look at his hand and see all these rings.
Super Greek. Yeah.
Yeah. But having him involved in the company, what's that done for you? Like, how did that happen? Like, I want to know more about that. Kenny, damn you. He's a famous restaurateur, obviously.
Yeah, Food Network.
Food Network on
celebrity.
I've watched a lot of his TV shows.
Yeah, full-blown celebrity chef. We have some connections in the Cleveland area, in the bar and the restaurant field, and there was interest from Michael to starting a bourbon company back in earlier part of his celebrity career. I guess he was doing some stuff with Knob Creek. He was like a celebrity ambassador for them. But
interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah. But he wanted to be in the industry, and really when Tom and I started to talk about River Roots is when I got that message that he might be interested in something. So pitched the business plan to him, and here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to imagine, I know I've been to some of the restaurants in Cleveland that he has, and been around there for a while, so I just wondered if I see that the first pick you guys put out was that his autograph?
Yeah,
on there?
it's his autograph. And did you know, like, it's actually a chef's knife, like a butcher's knife. Did you see that?
Really?
That's his little thingy right there.
Now I see it. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Oh, Kenny's sending out more samples.
Really cool.
This comes with a new glass.
Kenny, what are you doing over here? I feel like I'm trying to talk about River Roots, and Kenny's just pouring you guys a whole bunch of whiskey.
Let's get to the important things.
Yeah, right?
It's so cinnamon.
So I just poured everybody.
It definitely is cinnamon.
Yeah.
Like a red hot.
Yeah.
Dang. Is this Al Verona? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so if y'all ever get to the point where you're stagnant, you can always amber on something.
please don't.
Yeah. No,
Ryan, please.
Actually, so I went on a.
You stagnant.
I won't. We won't. But it's funny story around that is when that Amburano, I never heard it before. I did some barrel picks with Blake Reiber and Jay West, and we went to Starlight, and they had these things, and I never tasted it. I was with these guys for like 2 days doing multiple barrel picks at all these distilleries, and when we tasted that, the Amburano barrels, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's one of the best things I tasted. But like, you're so saturated with whiskey, you're doing stuff like this every day.
It just stands out.
Stuff. It was just so unique and different that I liked it at the time. But then I sat back and I was like, and then I did a meme. This is back in Bourbon Buddy days. I did a meme that was like, you know where that guy's sitting at that table and he has that little like sign up and it's like
Changed my mind.
Yeah,
thing.
changed my mind. It was changed my mind. Amburano barrels are the Pappy Van Winkle of Fireball or something like that.
Right.
Because I mean, this is it literally, yeah. So.
It is that.
It got some attention.
You didn't get the cinnamon toast crunch on it.
Oh no, it is
cinnamon toast crunch.
Some of those Starlights tasted
crunch.
like candles.
Yeah,
it was like Yankee Candle in the glass.
Come on now.
I mean, it was like Christmas, like just down here.
This has got to be Willet.
Okay.
Or it could be like some weird turkey.
No, I mean I'm gonna throw you off. I'm not going to give you a yes or a no.
It's
just gonna
so much
be
cinnamon.
silly.
It was definitely a lot of cinnamon.
It's a lot of cinnamon.
I'm trying to think about what.
Like what else would that
could
be?
potentially be.
That could be BT. It could be Buffalo Trace.
I had, you know what? Remember when we got our first 25 barrels? I got a lot of cinnamon and some of
that's true.
those too. Those were young.
Interesting.
That could be.
I gotta guess Willet.
Okay,
I gotta.
that's fine.
It's definitely a more. I know what you're talking about, Tom. You're 100% right, but this feels like a more balanced cinnamon. Like,
Do you have any more of it left? Right. All right.
I have some of it.
I got. Yeah.
What's your proof guess?
Think rye, then going for a drink.
Okay.
Rye.
All right.
So it's some sort of Kentucky rye.
Come on, Kenny.
Michter's.
That's actually an interesting guess. Okay. Yeah.
I'm off on this one. I'm lost on this one.
This is a. You mean tell it now or no? So what you just had was a really nice Kentucky rye. We will just leave it at that, gentlemen.
All right.
Why, thank you, sir.
And it is a really nice Kentucky rye. That's very good.
Now, this is the one that I go back and forth with that one on being my favorite
Oh, wow.
rye.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
I have a story about this one. So
This is one of my favorite whiskeys of all time.
I agree.
Before Ohio was doing the lotteries and stuff like that,
Oh, God.
Booker's rye. You know how many I bought of these?
No.
15. From one liquor store. They got like a quarter of the allotment of Ohio stuff.
Oh my God.
And I bought 15 of
That's
them.
$30,000 in today dollars.
I know.
You still sitting on them?
No. I was, that's a lot of money.
I bet you cost plus it a bunch of friends too, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was the retail
100%.
then?
Yeah.
It was quite a bit. I think it was like 200 or something like that. So like I spent, oh my gosh, it's been so long. Dude, I had drank a lot of this when I first got it.
Yeah.
And this is some.
It's probably one of the best
stuff.
modern whiskeys of all time.
yeah.
Like for modern whiskey, it's probably one of the best.
What's that noise?
Glass marbles, bro.
You think-
So here's the thing. All right. So for our listeners,
This is a first for me.
all right. So you open up a dusty bottle that's been sitting there for 50 years, right?
Okay.
It still tastes amazing.
Yeah.
You have a very small headspace.
Oh, you got to increase the
So
volume.
as you put glass marbles in there, you decrease the headspace. That way you don't lose your alcohol out into the headspace.
Nice.
Dude,
Because that's like what I did.
If this tastes
with
like
this,
marbles-
right?
Sorta.
That's like sucking. Yeah.
But I wasn't going to say anything earlier, but I'll
Yeah.
say something now because I'm more saturated.
Yeah.
My son's a chemical engineer. What you're doing here, it actually has the opposite effect. It actually pulls the alcohol out. It actually pulls your alcohol out of your juice.
Oh, because alcohol's
Alcohol,
a vapor.
it's going to equalize itself out.
Okay.
So you will not get oxidation, which is good. That's why your flavor is good, but your proof is going to go down.
Oh, okay.
So what I do, if you notice, there's a lot of 8 ounce and 16 ounce and 4 ounce Boston rounds here. So I put glass marbles in them to decrease headspace until they get to a point. Then I transfer to a smaller vessel, and I keep transferring down to a smaller vessel. So that way it tastes the same as it did 4, 5, 6 years ago when you opened it up.
That makes sense.
I love that, man. Actually, sounds like the exact same principle as something called Henry's Law. Did he say that the name of that was called Henry's Law?
I don't
If you were to take a 2-liter bottle, for example, pour half of it out, it makes the psst when you first open it, put it back in the fridge. The next day you go to open it, still makes the psst, but the pop is flat because the pressure of what was in the liquid needed to equalize with the pressure that was above.
Right, there you go.
And I wonder if that's kind of similar to what's going on there.
So that's what happens. So, yep.
It happens with beer. That's how I knew that one.
There you go.
I can't talking about the marbles and stuff like that makes me think of like I just feel like Kenny gets a little saturated. Have you guys ever seen that movie? Have you seen my marbles? What movie is that from? It's
What movie is that? What movie is that?
It's like Cameron Diaz.
It's
Bad Teacher or
with Ben
whatever.
Stiller.
With Ben Stiller's in it.
Something
About Mary?
Yeah, something about Mary.
About Mary. Yeah. Have you seen my marbles? Yeah.
The brother.
Now.
Frank and Beans.
Yeah, Frank and Beans. Have you seen my marbles? Yeah.
Here's the Booker's Rye.
Yeah. Hey,
in my
nice.
opinion,
Thank you.
Like the best modern whiskey.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Man.
Cheers.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Kenny.
Boom.
Cheers.
I got your laser code from across the table.
Oh my God.
So I need to know how many marbles you added to this whiskey. If it wasn't 37,
If you guess, it'd be like the fair. If you guess, you get to keep the bottle.
60. I think that's 64 marbles.
Nope, it's 67.
I was close.
Did you, Kenny? Did you see when I started to pour it? When I tilted it, like I thought I broke it for a second. I looked at it, what did I do? What'd you do?
What's that noise?
We were somewhere recently when that happened with one of the bottles. They were like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah.
'Cause they hadn't seen that before.
It just gets rid of the headspace. So now when we get done tonight, I'll put more marbles in there and get rid of the headspace again.
Smart. It makes a lot of sense. It really does.
Yeah, it sure does. You need glass marbles for all these bottles.
Just have a back of a dump truck and drop it in your driveway.
God, Booker's Rye is so good.
So good.
Oh my God.
It's nothing you can really do.
But when I
about it.
blind them, like the one I poured you previously, I really go back and forth on them a lot.
Really?
When I blind them, man. Yeah.
I can see that. I can see the similarities.
So this is more complex and balanced to me than the first one.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the first one's finish, it lasts 60 to 70 seconds. I've timed it.
Yeah.
I've literally timed it. It lasts 60 to 70 seconds.
That's great.
So, but this is more balanced than the first one.
Yeah, a little richer on the palate. I feel
Yeah.
like just a little denser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the proof on this one?
130.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
I can take my glasses off here. 136.2.
Yeah, that's great.
Have any,
2016.
now that we're tasting Booker's, has anybody had a chance to taste any of that new stuff they're releasing? The Infinity one and the Reserves and all that stuff? Has anybody had a chance to taste any of that stuff?
Seen them on secondary, but I'm not buying one.
I just
at
wondered
price.
because like modern Beam LEs, like I'm wildly underwhelmed by them. That's no
Yeah.
offense. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I'm underwhelmed by them, and I'm just wondering if those are going to be better.
I hear the little book is not good.
The Infinity one.
No, I hear the Booker's is better, but it's a Booker's LE. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how good could that be? I mean, I know Booker's Rye is amazing, but that was
Yeah.
That's
that's
different
why I'm
animal
asking that
disease.
because that is
Yeah.
the one that everyone's chasing now, and I just don't have a lot of stuff that's limited from Jim Beam that
So-
I enjoy.
But like Hardin's Creek is good enough for me.
Yeah.
It's like, the first release I thought was pretty good. 184 months, Boston, Claremont, those were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, with any of the new releases, like, again, River Roots, owning a company and stuff like that, I'm still a consumer. Actually, funny thing is, so, like, you find people review-wise that you know that you trust and stuff like that, and now learning Kenny, like, I bought one of my friends that was down here for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. He's like, hey, do you want a Heaven Hill 18-year-old? And I said, yeah, because I love the Heaven Hill 17-year-old. And then after I bought it, I'm like, did I jump the gun? Let me check what Cam said. And so I went and saw your thing. I'm like, I might have jumped the gun on that one. But because the 17 was so good.
The 17's its own beast. The 18 is like lighter.
Yeah.
It's like that lighter profile.
Yeah.
The 17's just like funk.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right? So, like,
Which is crazy.
It's like there's so many releases. You got to know someone that you trust, a friend or somebody on YouTube or Bourbon Buddy, blog back in the day. Oh, gee. Like something you can trust and, kind of go to. Like, am I making a good purchase?
And that's where you guys are newer to us, but that's what we really try to do. We do a pass, try, buy on our traditional episodes, and we just say, is it worth buying the bottle? Is it worth trying to pour at a bar, or is it just it's a pass totally? And we do look at retail pricing as well as secondary pricing, because a lot of these bottles, at least for me, are not attainable unless they're on secondary. So I also look at secondary value as well.
Yeah, I think for the 18 Heaven Hill, we would buy it at retail. We all said we buy it at retail. But secondary, there was definitely a hard cap where we said we would not buy it. Yeah.
So I mean, what is it? Retail that Heaven
300.
Hill, 300.
Yeah.
18-year-old Heaven Hill. I know it's not barrel proof, right? But it's 120 proof.
Right.
But as an example, the actual William Heaven Hill 12-year is twice as dark as the Heaven Hill 18.
What's the?
It just Heaven Hill lately, man. Just even the Heaven Hill 17, even it wasn't super dark. I don't know. They've just it's depends on, I don't know. Things are different.
Tom was talking about the pre-fire Heaven Hill.
Oh yeah.
Pre and post Heaven Hill. He's like, is there much of a difference?
That's
Have you had pre-fire before?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hang tight. Here we go, Tom.
It sounds like I'm in the right spot. Yeah. Right? No, what I was saying, because we were just having dinner talking about it, and I was like, you know what, Ryan? I was like, I would love to try
this is a big dog.
A pre-fire Heaven Hill 80 proof, let's just say, compared to...
How about 107 proof?
That's just fine, too. That's my wheelhouse, actually. That's where I like it to be.
107.
And then I said, and then I also wanted to taste something that's like, newer. And
one moment.
Hey, I'll have my answer now. But there's so many things that have gone on, I mean, let's talk about pre-fire. Even the crops were different. The corn was different, more flavorful. It wasn't, the same type of seed that's being provided now.
We were talking about,
and how about the wood itself from old trees?
Right.
More rings, more movement.
Yep.
I just thought it'd be kind of fun, just for my own personal, mind, just to taste one against the other,
right?
And just see okay, here's where the differences are.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's a tough thing to really go through and start dissecting whiskeys like that and thinking about the old versus the new, and then. Don't get me started on the similarities between Jim Beam and Heaven Hill post fire.
There's so many rabbit holes you can get
so
down.
Many things.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it can go on.
Yeah,
and
they
on
shared
and
the yeast, and they didn't share it.
Right,
It's not the same. It is.
And what generation of yeast was it? And what was the viability of that yeast and the pitch count?
Well, and I think that's the thing. I know Kenny's given a lot of this to us blind, right? It's amazing what the mind says. If Tom presenting this to you, this is pre-fire Heaven Hill,
right?
You have it in your mind that there's something extra about it, special. Right. I mean, what is it, right?
Right.
There was a fire.
I'm thinking that's going to be probably same proof, but I in my head it's going to have a different mouthfeel. And I think it's also going to propose, just slightly different flavors and possibly different finish too.
Right.
And just blinding's king, man. Blinding's king.
Yeah. No, I know. It's we learn a lot by just doing blind tastes.
So Tom and I are part of the Cleveland Bourbon Club, and every month we meet and do blind tastings.
How big is Cleveland Bourbon Club, by the way?
Small. Because the only reason it's
20 members.
20 members. Because
it really is only 20 members?
I read that on the internet.
Kenny do a lot of research.
Hashtag facts. The reason why is because everybody gets an ounce and a half, and that's as much as you can get for a 750 milliliter bottle and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's really just focused on the whole kind of concept of the club is just doing the blind tastings, and then they do barrel picks and stuff like that. So I mean, you have a annual fee, and all that goes into bottle procurement that comes from bottles on the secondary market or from members' collections, and then there's a member of the club that picks from inventory or goes off and buys stuff on the secondary market and blinds people. So you go in like not knowing exactly what you do, and it's amazing, guys, like who you're with and what your mood is, and like one table will have totally different scores from the other table because there's like table talk, like, oh, I really like A and B is really good, and it totally flip-flops. It's hard to find bad whiskey, right? Like, yeah. And it's amazing when when everything is neutral and you're talking about it, like how many different influences are. Oh, it's pre-fire Heaven Hill, or oh, it's a Dusty, or if, it's amazing what the mind can do to the receptors and influence your taste.
That's the funniest thing about tasting at all. I mean, the mind is just, once you have preconceived ideas, you're already, just like what Ryan is saying. I mean, you go into it, it's tough to prove yourself wrong sometimes when you already kind of have this idea that, well, it's going to be like this, unless it's like blatantly different than what you're thinking or what you evaluated. But it's the mind is crazy when it comes to tasting.
What I found is like drinking whiskey is the best whiskey I've ever had is probably in environments like this. Truly. Is when you're just having a good time, sharing experiences and tastes with stuff. And, hey, Tom, remember like last year we were on this podcast and Kenny brought out this crazy... He's like, that was some of the best stuff I ever had. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's it.
It's all... Hey,
it's a moment,
all of it boiled down, River Roots, all of it. It's all about an enjoyment of something and friendship and talking about stuff, right? And I'm having a hell of a time.
You know what? And you're totally right about that, Ryan. When you're in a room and you're trying to make a decision, like we're going to be in the morning tomorrow, and we have to try and like break down flavors and stuff like that. I'm like, we're gonna experience those flavors and stuff, but everything just seems to be so much easier and so much better when it's just like an easy peasy, like a no stress environment, kind of like what we've got here. It's just tasting isn't tasting. This is more than tasting. It's just having fun. It's being with people.
Speaking of having fun, Kenny's going mad scientist.
Is this it? There you go. I get my answers tonight.
Well, so I had a little difficult. I had a difficult time there.
Yeah, you really worked hard, huh? I'm sorry about that, man.
Have you seen my marbles?
Custom blending?
So it was bad. So I pulled out of Evan Williams 23 initially.
Yeah.
That is definitely old school pre-fire. But then I looked at my newer ones. I don't have a brand new Evan Williams 23.
Similar proof?
Oh, that's okay. I'll take that one.
Right. So
How dare you?
But I was trying to get him like pre-fire against fire.
Yeah.
So then I grabbed my Evan Williams 12, which is one of the most underrated bourbons on the market. It's the Red Label Evan Williams 12.
Agreed.
So freaking good. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I got an old one. So I had an old one, the new one. Well, the old one was still 2010. Which means 1998, which was still post-fire.
Yeah.
So that's like crap. So I had to go not do that one. So I poured just some stuff.
Yeah. Let me get my glasses on for this.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
tasting
you're
glasses.
in it when he's struggling to find post-fire Heaven Hill for you.
I know. That's the trouble.
Sorry, man. All out.
So what I want an Evan Williams 12. And I think I've got one somewhere, but I just don't know where it is, that is like truly pre-fire. Because the one I've got from 2010, that's 98. Just after the fire. So Heaven Hill was getting barrels from different places. So I wanted to try a pre-fire Evan Williams 12, my one from the 2010, so it's 98, and the current one, all three together. That'd be cool to try.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm going to pass something around right now, though. Hang on.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yeah, so what I'm passing around is a 2001
Jesus.
Evan Williams 23 year.
I have actually, the Cleveland Bourbon Club, we've actually had this blind and it's scored very high.
So that
I've taken a picture of
that went into the barrel in 1978. I was 3 years old.
Wow, man.
I'm an old man.
This is some of that
I'm older.
ASMR right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good.
I love it.
We're in it right now. We're in it, boys. Oh wow, the nose.
Dude, this dude.
God bless America.
This one's awesome, dude.
I love Heaven Hill.
So I've got the.
Was that a God Bless America down there?
You know it was.
Yeah, dang. Didn't have my headphones on there yet.
So, Ryan, I have the 1995 Evan Williams 23 up there as well. That was distilled in 72.
So what's that then?
That's a 20. That is a 2001. So distilled in 1978.
So that was bottled in
Bottled in 01.
01. And then what's the other one you have?
Bottled in 95.
Okay.
But what's crazy is I actually prefer this one over the old one.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just do.
This one here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both definitely pre-fire.
Oh, yeah. Like
Obviously,
way pre-fire.
Way.
Yeah, because even my other Evan Williams that's the 2019 is technically pre-fire.
Pre-fire, yeah.
That blue wax is sick.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I like the cork that's on this bottle. It looks like an old Forester barrel strength cork.
Yeah.
That's definitely not a Evan Williams 23
that ain't
cork.
original. I'm guessing that one deteriorated pretty quickly.
Yeah, I love it.
Back to what I was doing.
Okay.
But this 2010 or 2001 Evan Williams 23 is just, it crushes like so much more expensive stuff out there. Like these are still like not crazy price. Think about like Pappy 20 and 23 and stuff. This murders it, in my opinion. Everybody's palate's different, but
What is that, like 2K?
no, these are not. These have been like 1,500 at the most.
Oh, wow.
1,300, 1,500.
Wow.
That's wild, especially for such an old, like in 2001, a 23-year-old's bottling.
Dude,
That's wild.
putting the barrel in 78.
Yeah. In retrospect,
It tastes like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Star Wars is in the movie theater. Yeah, that was 77.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a frame of reference. It's a long time ago.
In a galaxy. Far, far away.
Right.
So
How you doing, Cam? You good, bro?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm like 2/3 Satch.
Hey, I got a couch over here, too.
Yeah.
So for all listeners that have a 4-hour drive,
Yeah, right.
this will help you along your commute.
Do you know how many times I've heard from people that are like, I just had 10-hour trip going somewhere overseas and I listened to your podcast back and forth. I'm like,
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very cool. So I do have to ask, got to go back again one
Before
time.
you
I keep bringing you back. Go ahead. Kenny, go ahead.
No, you're going to
Before-
ask, but I'm going to say something after you ask because I do have something to say.
Okay. So what is the most exciting thing on the horizon for River Roots?
Ooh, good question. Well, I mean, this
Thursday coming up.
this Thursday coming up, we're passing around an 18-year-old Indiana bourbon that's pretty special. Very special that we have. And then we have some old legacy distillery. I think I've been saying heritage distillery, legacy. Hey, guys, it's
Same
fine.
thing. Yeah, heritage and
Same.
legacy.
It's
legacy,
Same thing.
heritage.
No, for us, I interchange them
We're
all the
all
time.
friends. This
Start
is
calling like the
fine.
Big Five or the Big
Yeah.
Seven or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like the Big 10 right now is
Big
like
10.
the Big like 22. Who
There you
knows?
go.
Yeah. Everyone knows what we're talking about.
Right.
So, anywho, obviously, as we've been alluding to, this whole podcast is tomorrow we're going through and tasting some barrels from older stock from a legacy distillery.
I'm excited, honestly, for you all for that.
Thanks.
I really
yeah,
am.
it's all
I'm
kind
excited,
of like,
man.
again, we're small. We haven't been open for a year, and kind of these things are kind of stepping stones, right? Like, I know you all haven't heard about us, which is totally understandable. I feel like a lot of people will not have heard of us until the 18-year comes out, and my guess is it'll probably hit secondary market, and people are like, who the heck is River Roots? And they'll look it up, and then it's just kind of building blocks, right? And we're not a big dog, we're very grassroots, just kind of building our way up and seeing how it evolves and growing with it. So this 18-year-old's the next step, and then the stuff we're gonna taste tomorrow is the next step after that, and hopefully there's some more cool stuff to come along the way.
I love it, and I love the fact that it's Cleveland. I just have to say that because that means a lot to me because of the Ohio connection. So I'm loving what you guys are doing. Kenny, what was your question?
So I didn't have a question. I had more of a statement, I guess, is we have talked on this podcast multiple times before with the quote-unquote craft distilleries. I think you called yourself a boutique distillery.
Yeah.
So you walk into Total Wine, you walk into Liquor Barn, and you have literally shelves and shelves and shelves full of bourbon that you don't want to buy.
Yeah, right.
It's like why do I want to buy that? So we talked about, it's who you like, who you can relate to, is who you want to support. And what I think is really cool is I've had a lot of quote unquote craft and boutique distilleries that, have some good stuff, but maybe it's too expensive, or have some good stuff, but it's okay. But what's really cool is knowing that you are, and I didn't know this about you, Tom, until tonight. You're a longtime beer guy, but longtime bourbon guy. You're actually a bourbon nerd, a bourbon enthusiast like myself that's now created your own brand. You're not just a money guy, X's and O's, a marbles, let's move the bean here back and forth guy. So, it makes me want to support you even more. I'm just being honest with you. Because, you actually enjoy and you're an enthusiast like myself.
Guys.
So I'm just being honest with you, man.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. When I did some more research on you, kind of figure that stuff out. It makes me want to support you, dude.
That's awesome that you think of that. Think of it that way.
It really is.
Well,
Thanks, Kenny.
and to be truly transparent to you guys is, I'm an owner of River Roots, but this isn't my job. I have a full-time job that I do. This is just a side thing for me, right? So it's so much so it's, again, me being a consumer kind of getting into this business is, this is more of just a person like all of us, just kind of sitting down and let's just get some cool barrel. I'm having a blast.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's really what it is.
It is.
It's not, hey, this isn't keeping the lights on in my house. I'm not making a fortune on this. We're just having a blast doing it.
Yeah.
Just passing on really good barrels to people that truly enjoy bourbon, enthusiasts.
I think one of the coolest things about our brand is that there's a lot of care and consideration that goes into the barrels that make their way into our place, right? We like to just say no junk in the house, So
that's a good motto.
Anybody
jump in the trunk is different.
Right? If you're into that,
I'm saying jump in the trunk is different.
Yeah. There can be too much junk in that trunk, by the way. But anyway,
it's a balance.
So right, it is. But here's the cool thing, that I think I like the most about what we're doing is that because we're so careful about what we buy and bring in barrel wise, anybody that has never tried our brand before and might see our stuff on the store shelves and feel like they're taking a risk, probably not going to be disappointed, because whatever's in that bottle is something that is, passed our tests and the test of many others, and we take a whole lot of pride in having our label on stuff. So
that's amazing.
And also being a consumer of it too, it's this big balance about knowing the market and knowing what I would pay for it.
And keeping it fair.
Yeah, keeping it fair, right? And then also reflecting and knowing that we're not even a company that's been open a year. So let's have some pricing that's a little bit below market. Right now at River Roots at our gift shop, you can get a 12-year-old 95.5 Indiana whiskey for $89.
That's amazing.
Single barrel, cast strength.
Yeah.
And it's wicked.
So 95.5 rye.
95.5 rye.
For how much?
For $89.
Usually that's $129 to $159.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, right?
Everywhere.
So
You said it.
Dude,
again,
that perspective is so unique, because even when you look at what was happening during the build up to the boom, big brands that we're talking about were paying attention to the secondary market. Mm-hmm. They weren't in tune with what was happening with whiskey pricing and stuff like that. They could say they were, but they're lying. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so people that came through the enthusiast end to now where you're producing and you're putting a product on the shelf, obviously you trust you more than I trust their sensibilities about things, because I'm not saying it in a sense that, okay, they're putting great whiskey out there. I'm talking about the sheer value of an NDP to be able to select good barrels, like you're saying, and put them out at a competitive price. That's just amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Again, it's just trying to put bottles in hands and people understanding the brand and
Right.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun with it too. Here, that's our new Halloween. How sick is that?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Creepy skeleton death
this
metal
available?
logo. Yeah,
it's at the gift
available
shop
right
only.
now.
Okay.
Spooky, scary skeleton.
Terrifying label.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to be buying some of this stuff. I can get this shipped to Kentucky, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we have on our
That's
website.
that $89 11.5 year ride.
Perfect.
12-year ride,
Okay.
11.5 year ride.
Well, you got me sold.
Yeah, we just have a good time with
Care
it.
package.
the funny thing is, we're just like, oh, cool. What kind of label are we going to do next?
Yeah, it's really
right.
I was like, hey, Tom, Christmas is showing up. Like, let's do some. Actually, I was thinking, Cam, I'm going to hit you up, man. Cam does some of that
AI stuff.
artificial. And
Oh, you do AI stuff, Cam, huh?
Cam's been quiet in the corner over here for a little too long.
He's 2/3 sad.
I'm sad.
13 glasses
Cam's
of
with a
whiskey to go.
7/8.
I need that palate tomorrow morning.
You're not 7/8. I'm 5/8, bro. Come on.
5/8.
Well, that's all right. Cam's going to get some H2O, and he'll be ready with his glasses tomorrow morning.
We're going to go.
I've got Water Boy and Plan A's upstairs, so we're good.
Okay.
What's that? I need to learn about that.
Oh, dude. I got a whole regiment.
When you get into the circle of death with Kenny, or the oval of death.
Dude,
Yeah, look at this.
in Michigan
this
that
room.
night, that was insane. in
Dude,
Michigan.
that was the circle of death.
It was insane.
He just kept pouring out of his pockets, and we're
it
like,
was so
Where were they
bad.
coming from? How could you?
Were you guys hanging with the bourbon junkie guys?
out of this bag, then into the pocket, then into our glass. And he's like, I'm like, what is this? No. all right. And then
about right.
by like the 20th pour around the circle, it was like, we got to go to bed, man. Like, we're done.
Alves was smart and went to bed at like 12 or something. We didn't go back to the room till like 3 or something.
It was 3 or 4. It was very
4.
late.
Yeah.
Kenny was like, we're
was
not done
bad.
until I
The next morning, my wife is trying to wake me up, and I go, just get a late checkout. Late checkout.
Check out. Yeah.
It
And
was-
when we got to our car, we were the last car in the parking lot.
Oh, one of those deals. Nice.
we drank some amazing
Take your time.
stuff.
Yeah.
But as we've said multiple times on this podcast, some of the best whiskey you have is just shared around a table with friends.
Absolutely. Yep.
So this could be literally $20 Evan Williams white label, and it's just shared around, with friends. But that night though, we had some crazy stuff.
We had a lot of Buffalo Trace store picks.
yeah. Oh, it was such a fun night. Such a good night. So, are y'all ready for something else?
I thought he was going to wrap it.
All right, Kenny.
Yeah. I thought we were going to start putting
Listen,
cue the end
wrap the
music.
pod, you saturated bugger.
Let's see. Are y'all ready for something else? Here, let's see.
See.
Actually, before that, so Tom, your left and your right blind. Where you like? Where you at?
Oh, yeah. Right.
gave you
I kept a little in each one.
Yeah,
I had it figured out a minute ago, and I forgot where I was.
some hops to do that to you.
Yeah, I know which one's which.
It was a double imperial stout with cocoa adjuncts. I'm just joking.
A diabetes beer. Yeah.
Diabetes
They got all
beer.
kinds of lactose and sweeteners in it.
French toast adjuncts.
Yeah.
I got to.
That's why it took 3 hours to drink or whatever.
That's
you said.
right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
You should just. That's a drain pour in my world.
I was like, oh my God. I just gained 17 pounds from one beer.
Yeah. Stick with Pilsners.
There you go.
The Germans did it best. Anyway, I'm going to go younger in the Glencairn, and I am going to go older in this one.
Okay. What's your first place, second place? Where you at?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I actually like the approachability of this one a little bit more.
Okay.
This one just felt a little bit more harsh on the palate.
Yep.
And it feels like it probably had like a little bit more of like a like kind of like an astringent cinnamony kind of thing. But when I say astringent, I don't mean over oaked astringent. I just mean just kind of like grippy and bitier on the tongue.
Okay. So I had a struggle just a minute ago because I was trying to find something that was modern. So your left glass that you like better
Yes.
is the 2001
Okay.
Evan Williams 23,
Well, how about that? All right.
and your right glass was the 2019 Evan Williams 23.
Okay.
So they're 18 years apart.
No kidding.
Both are theoretically pre-fire though, because if you do the math,
But the 19 is not.
2019 minus 23 is 1996. The fire is 96.
I know. I heard
November
that is
96.
But I heard that it's not pre.
Okay.
On the. Because
But you also know about laser codes, so we don't know.
I do.
We gotta trust you on this or not.
Campfire.
But I love, dude. I love my Evan Williams 19.
I'm messing with you. I love you, bro.
I know.
I'm just
No.
teasing.
I love my 2019 Evan Williams 23. I love it.
Yeah,
But I heard that it's not pre-fire.
yeah. And so what you had on the left that you loved is 100. I mean, that's old school pre-fire.
That makes sense.
The one on the right is either pre-fire potentially or just after the fire, one of the two. But they're both 23-year, 107 proof.
2001, 2019.
Yep, there you go. 18 years apart.
Which is wild. I mean, Kenny, you having that and pouring that for us is...
I really appreciate that. No, I mean, I have a lot of questions all the time about, man, what about this? And what about the influence of this in flavor and blah, 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 blah. And I can allow myself to just think I can keep myself awake at night just thinking about what makes what happen and why.
Yeah. There's a lot of good articles on that, and they're just talking to different people that are been in it for a while. But I mean, one of the biggest things is just the wood itself.
Oh, sure.
Because what on bourbon, like 80% of your flavors from the wood.
Yeah. Right.
So if you have 20 to 30-year-old trees versus 100, 125, 150-year-old trees,
that's what they have.
It's just different,
that's
dude. The old school stuff. You just can't duplicate that.
Old oak versus new oak.
Plus just the actual cleanliness. You've got raccoons and whatever falling into the mash tanks and whatever back in the day, and now it's more cleanliness than what it used to be. It's just there's so many variants in that. I mean, it really is. It's clean. I'm just saying.
Raccoons in the mash.
Dude, I'm just saying.
If that's a real thing, if that happened,
you heard it from Kenny.
They went out drunk and they choked themselves out with a blanket of CO2.
You didn't go for like a rat or a mouse. You went right to a raccoon.
I went right to a raccoon. I was going to say skunk, but I didn't want to say skunk because that would be different.
I love it. Hey, who knows what goes on in the back hills?
God.
And so for our listeners that are
they still listening?
They might be listening.
You're gonna have to slice and dice this one.
I do recommend
1,000, 2 1,000.
Yeah.
Just joking.
I do recommend pouring water into your glass, swirling it, putting your palm over it, and popping it, and drinking the water. That way, as you're cleaning your glass, you're also staying hydrated because hydration is key while you're drinking bourbon.
Amen, brother.
Oh man. Hey, we have to wrap this up. So where can we find you guys? Where do we go to find River Roots? Just go to your website. Tell us where we go.
We're at riverrootsbarrelco.com.
There you go.
Got that one.
That's a long one.
Yeah, I know. Right. We're also on Instagram, River Roots Barrel Co.
Yeah.
Okay,
there you go.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
we're doing okay. And we're also on some of the other social media stuff, but that's really mostly our stuff. And then actually, if you're listening to this podcast, you're one of us, you're an enthusiast, you're probably on Facebook anyways. I would recommend looking up the River Roots Rick House on Facebook. It's kind of where people go that are, fans of what we do. And hey, the fans of River Roots get early selections of some of our stuff, including this 18-year-old they're going to be releasing. So, just like I've been a fan of other brands and stuff like that, we're trying to, pass it forward to the people that like what we're doing. So, I would recommend doing that for sure.
Yeah. And if you ever find yourself in Cleveland,
yes.
And guess what? There are plenty of reasons to find yourself in Cleveland.
There are, yes.
Stop
agree.
with what you're thinking.
River ain't always burning.
It's a good, river, that hasn't happened for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's actually a great town, super affordable.
Great food.
We love it there, man. Great restaurants, great everything. I mean,
you don't have to sell me on it. I'm all in.
I know you are, but
it's my home. It's still
trying to get Anthony to move back.
Yeah.
You know what? It's easy to do. I've moved away and I've moved back, and I moved away and I've moved back. I think if I ever moved down to Lexington or Louisville, I would stay in Lexington or Louisville. I mean, I love these cities very, very, very much. Even when I used to work for a brewery that's Colorado-based, and I had Kentucky as a territory, and I would always extra book my visits to Kentucky because this is great, man. I just love this area. But if you ever stop down, go to Cleveland, see our spot. It's a modest little place, but we have a great time. We're always doing stuff, and we're always going to pull out of the barrels, and we'll always let you sample some of the weird new crazy stuff that we got. And
sweet.
Yeah, that's kind of the cool thing. It's about, like, again, we're so small that, like, if you stop by and you're like, hey, I'm part of the River Roots Rick House group, or like, all right, want to come back, you want to just kind of like nerd out for a second, just have a couple tastes, we'll get into some of the barrels a little bit to taste them. So we're having fun with it.
Yeah, we have a good time with anybody that walks in. So. Yeah.
Well, this has certainly been a good time, and so glad you guys could join us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kenny, with all these pours, man, you made sure everybody was saturated, huh?
Hey, man, I'm trying to get them caught up to me.
Yeah. No, but hey, thank you guys for having us. It's been a blast. The whole vibe is exactly what River Roots is all about. So
totally.
Kenny, thank you for sharing all of your amazing stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Bringing all the Dusty's over,
thank you, man.
Cheers,
this
man.
has been
That's
great.
good.
Cam,
Awesome.
always great seeing Cam.
We were
in the house.
We were at OBC and we only had one cocktail there, and we're like, no, we got to chill. We're gonna have some stuff. And the bartender's like, "What are you gonna have?" I'm like, "I don't know, some old dusters and stuff." He's like, "Oh yeah, what do you have?" And I was like, "Oh, we have some."
I know a lot of the bartenders there.
Yeah.
If you just said I'm going to Kenny Mills' house.
I should have said. We should have.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code THEMASHUP for a special discount.
Also,
head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.